I do want to ask Siria a question. Siria, are you there? Come in, Siria.
I am here.
Hello, hello. I have a question for you
Sure.
because you run the Garifuna Market, right?
Yes.
So I want you to tell us a little bit about the Garifuna Market. I think it's really, really cool. I think I first saw it while I was away. So of course I was super excited about that. But before you tell us about the Garifuna Market, I do want to ask you a question one time so that you could just integrate it all. And that is definitely, are there aspects of our heritage that you believe should receive more emphasis? Because I know you guys try to do a lot of that education as well as assistance. Um, if yes, what aspects need to be highlighted more? So that's your question, Siria.
All right, that's a good question, Trina. Firstly, thank you for hosting this panel. Trayvon, thank you for inviting me. My name is Siria Alvarez. I am a Garifuna woman, and I reside in New York in the United States. My family is from Honduras, and I'm pretty sure I have plenty of family in Belize as well. I've been learning so much about the Garifuna culture since we started in 2019. And I wasn't very knowledgeable about the Garifuna culture, just very basic level, hudutu, machuca, and gathering with family on special occasions, but that was where it stopped. So I didn't have any Garifuna friends and just grew up in the Garifuna neighborhood or anything like that. And so I knew there must have been other people who could relate, who didn't also grow up in around Garifuna culture. And something that I found out through talking to other Garifuna people in the United States was that they too felt a pressure growing up to assimilate to the next closest culture. So if you were Garifuna, but you grew up in the neighborhood and went to school and all the stores you went to and everybody in the neighborhood you met was from, say, Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic, you kind of just identify with that and just not necessarily claim that, but not necessarily claim their own culture. You understand? So I've been learning so much about the Garifuna culture. I don't know everything about Garifuna culture, so I never claim to know it all. But I utilize the platform as an opportunity to learn, to exchange information with those who do know. And to answer your question about things that I think, areas that I think need more emphasis in learning about the Garifuna culture, I say two things. Definitely the pride is very important, just so that the next generation of youth, I believe it's important for them to know more about the Garifuna culture, to see Garifuna representation all around them, so they too can be proud and keep the traditions going, or keep our culture alive in the way they can. And then secondly, I think definitely the language. And I was surprised to hear how plenty of you also were not extremely proficient in Garifuna language, despite representing so well, so hard, being around Garifuna culture. And, so I too am not well versed in Garifuna language. And so that's a very interesting aspect. So, and I want to add lastly that I believe it's both the responsibility of the elders and the youth for us to learn the language, because we could want to, but where do we find that information? We got to look for it. We have to dig for it. Fine. But I will also love for those who do know and who are very proficient to share that knowledge. So I think it's an equal exchange.
Thank you, Siria. You really made some great points. We have to work together. We have to. It's not just up to us. It's not just up to the elders. We have to work together so that we could preserve our culture, so that we could also learn a lot more and teach others who are coming up after us, right? I want to tie back some of what you just said to some of what Dana said earlier. And again, it's a situation where we are all trying to learn.